Let's start.
Chisels are used for shaping and finishing the parts of wood joints. They are also used for shaping different profiles in woodwork. The size of the chisel is determined by width of the blade and type. All chisels consist of four main parts: the handle, the blade, tang, ferrule. The blade of a chisel is made of forged tool set. Grinding angle 20 to 25 degrees. Sharpening angle 30 to 35 degrees. Types of chisels: bench firmer chisel, bevel-edged firmer chisel, registered firmer chisel, paring chisel, socket firmer or socket mortise chisel, mortise chisel, gauge chisel. Bench firmer chisel. This is used for general chiseling purposes. Strongly made, it can be used for light chiseling with a mallet. The blade is rectangular in the cross section. The handle is made of beech or ash wood. It has a brass ferrule. Tang is fixed inside the ferrule. It is available from 3 mm to 50 mm. Bevel-edged firmer chisel. It is more convenient for lighter works and paring works, and in places where ordinary firmer chisel cannot be used, such as cleaning up corners and joints. Bevel-edged firmer chisel has two edges beveled along its length, which makes it lighter and the edges thinner. Size varies from 3 mm to 50 mm. Registered firmer chisel. It is used for heavy work such as mortising. The use of mallet is necessary here. It is stronger than ordinary firmer chisel. It has a thicker blade and iron ferrule at both sides of handle. A leather washer is provided between the shoulder of the blade and the handle to act as shock absorber when the chisel is hit by the mallet. Paring chisel. It is most suitable for all paring work such as finishing off joints. It has an extra long thin blade with beveled edges. It should never be used with a mallet. The handle is made of beech and octagonal in section. Size varies from 3 mm to 50 mm. Socket firmer or socket mortise chisel. It is used for extra heavy work. The blade is thicker and stronger than other chisels. It is able to withstand the blows of the mallet and level out the cover of mortises. The ash handle provided with ferrule is fitted in the socket in the blade. Size varies from 3 mm to 50 mm. Gauge chisel. Chisels are blades of circular section called as gauges or hollow chisels. According to the position of the cutting bevel on the blade, there are two main types: inside beveled gauge, outside beveled firmer gauge, and scribing gauge. Mortise chisel. The mortise chisel is designed to withstand hard, rough wear, and the thickness of the blade permits the leverage necessary to clear the mortise and keep the blade true. It has strong handle and the blade is fitted into it by a tang as with the socket and tang chisel. 54 common sizes of mortise chisels are 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16, 20 mm in width. The chisel blade is ground slightly taper from the face towards the back and from the cutting edge towards the handle to avoid friction. Mortise chisels are used mainly for chopping mortises and are driven with heavy blows of the mallet. The sash mortise chisels have a tough leather washer between the shoulder of the tang and the handle to help absorb the shock of repeated blows. Precautions to take before using the chisel. Never hold your hand or finger before the cutting edge. Never use a chisel without a proper handle. Chiseling across the grain. Grind and sharpen the firmer chisel. Plane the job to the required size of 50 into 22 into 150 mm. Hold the job on the vise and check it with tri-square for its flatness. With tri-square, mark out lines at a distance 50 mm and 100 from left side. With marking knife and tri-square, mark out lines at a distance of 50 mm and 100 from left side. Hold the tenon saw on the line marked and saw it to a 50 mm and 100 mm from left side. Repeat the procedure for the other side. Saw it to a depth of 11 mm. Hold the firmer chisel in your right hand on the handle and guide the blade with left hand. Control the movement of the chisel with thumb and forefinger. Push it on the space to be cut. Start a chiseling away from you at the bevel of the chisel turned upwards. Start a chiseling away from you, the bevel of the chisel turned upwards. Chisel in an inclined direction up to the middle of the portion. Reverse the workpiece so that the backside comes to front and hold in the vise. Chisel the waste material away from you up to the middle portion. Repeat the chiseling. Start chiseling slowly to make flat portion. Repeat the procedure for the other side. Saw it to a depth of 10 mm. Smooth the bottom and side walls with firmer chisels. Finish the job. Chiseling across the grain and along the grain. Check the raw material for its size. Plane the job to the required size of 50 x 22 x 290 mm. Mark the measurement on the job as per the drawing. Hold the job in the vise. Cut the shoulder line down to the center line, depth 11 mm with tenon saw. Keep the tenon saw at 90 degrees to ensure cutting at right angles. Cut on the waist side of the shoulder line. With the tenon saw, make several saw cuts in between the shoulder lines almost to the center line. Place the job flat on the workbench. With the help of firmer chisel and mallet, remove the surplus material on both sides, preventing splitting of wood. Chisel out excess wood little by little starting from the top and bottom. Smooth the bottom trench portion with firmer chisel. Repeat it for the other trenches also. Marking for chiseling. Observe the provided drawing. Hold the job 160 x 60 x 25 on the bench or vise. Plane it to size 160 x 50 x 22. With tri-square and steel rule, mark 5 mm, 55 mm, 105 mm and 155 mm from one end of the job. Hold the stock of the tri-square closely in contact with the face edge and mark lines with marking knife and wooden rule at the distance of 5 mm, 55 mm, 105 mm and 155 mm on all four sides. Set the marking gauge to 11 mm and scribe on the middle of face edge and its opposite side. Let's quickly recap. In this training session, participants will learn about using different types of chisels for woodwork, covering chiseling along and across the grain. The objectives include understanding various chisel types, chiseling techniques, and marking methods. Types of chisels discussed include bench firmer, bevel edge firmer, registered firmer, paring, socket firmer, and mortise chisels. Precautions for chisel use are highlighted. The tutorial demonstrates chiseling across the grain, providing step-by-step instructions and extends to chiseling along the grain. It concludes with marking procedures for chiseling. Participants will gain proficiency in using chisels for shaping, finishing, and creating wood joints. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye until then. Hello trainees. Today we are going to learn about making a single mortise and tenon joint. The objectives of this video are: after the session you'll be able to gathering tools and equipments needed to make mortise and tenon joint, making mortise and tenon joint, assemble and finish mortise and tenon joint. Let's start. List the tools and equipments to make mortise and tenon joint. Wooden piece of dimension 275 x 50 x 38 mm, jack plane, tri-square, mortise gauge, marking knife, measuring tape, Benchwise, mortise chisel 6 mm. Mallet, bench hook, smoothing plane. Make a mortise and tenon joint. Check the wooden piece for its size using folding rule 275 into 50 into 38 mm, one number. Plane it to size wherein the width is 45 mm, thickness 30 using jack plane. Check the workpiece for its flatness and squareness with tri-square. Mark the given dimension on the job as per the drawing using marking knife, folding rule and tri-square and mortise gauge. Hold the workpiece in the vise. Hold the mortise chisel 6 mm in left hand and the mallet in the right hand. Start chopping out the mortise at a distance of 2 mm from the lines. Precautions. Care should be taken to see that mortise does not become wider than the chisel. Hold the mortise chisel square to the surface. Do not chip right up to the end lines of the mortise. Chop out first layer about 10 mm and then cut next layer until half the height is reached. Reverse the workpiece upside down in the vise and start chopping out from the other side. Check whether the walls of mortise are straight. When the mortise holes are finished to size, clear the mortise using mortise and firmer chisel. Saw the tenon walls right up to the lines of the shoulder with the use of bench hook. Saw down the tenon walls of the tenons. Keep the saw on the waist side of the line. Saw off the end waists of tenon and finish the flat surfaces. Saw off the end waists of the piece. When two pieces are ready to be fit, check if they will fit snugly and are flush when fitted. Precaution: tenon should be square to mortise piece. Fit the mortise with their tenons and after fitting there should not be any movement in the joints. Check with the tri-square. Finish the mortise and tenon joint with smoothing plane. Advantages and application of mortise and tenon joint. It is one of the strongest joints and has been used by cabinet makers and joiners for thousands of years. Thanks to their tensile strength, they are favored for items such as windows, doors, beds, and tables, typically where a sturdy frame is required and wood needs to be joined at 90 degrees. The mortise and tenon joint gives such a secure joint in these circumstances that it is the key to the longevity of the furniture. Let's quickly recap. In this training session, participants will learn to create a single mortise and tenon joint. The video outlines the necessary equipment including a wooden piece, jack plane, tri-square, mortise gauge, measuring tape, bench vise, mortise chisel, mallet, bench hook and smoothing plane. The tutorial guides the process starting with checking and planing the wooden piece, marking dimensions and using a mortise chisel to carefully chop out the mortise. It emphasizes precision, avoiding widening beyond the chisel and ensuring straight walls. The tenon is formed through sawing and careful fitting, and the joint's integrity is confirmed with a tri-square before final smoothing with a plane. Mortise and tenon joints offer superior tensile strength, ideal for sturdy frames in windows, doors, beds, and tables, ensuring longevity. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye until then. Hello trainees. Today we are going to learn about making the plain haunched mortise and tenon joint. The objectives of this video are: after this session you will be able to gathering tools needed to make plain haunched mortise and tenon joint, Making the plain haunched mortise and tenon joint. Advantages and application of plain haunched mortise and tenon joint. Let's start. Gathering tools needed to make plain haunched mortise and tenon joint. Wooden piece of dimension 45 x 30 x 280 mm. Jack plane. Tri-square. Mortise gauge. Marking knife. Measuring tape. Bench vise. Mortise chisel. Mallet. Firmer chisel. Making the plain haunched mortise and tenon joint. Check the workpiece and planing to size of the workpiece. (45 x 30 x 280 mm) and marking of the measurement as per the drawing. Using measuring tape. Tri-square. Jack plane. Mortise gauge. Marking knife. Make the haunched mortise using mortise chisel, firmer chisel and mallet. Hold the mortise upside down and prepare the hunch to a size of 10 x 10 x 10 mm. Preparing the tenon as shown. Finish the haunched tenon using firmer chisel. Assemble the haunched tenons in the mortises by gently tapping it with mallet and finish the job as per the drawing. Advantages and application of plain haunched mortise and tenon joint. A haunched mortise and tenon joint is often used in woodworking to make heavy-duty frame and panel assemblies. The haunch fills the end of the groove, and a haunched tenon can also offer structural benefits. It can also be used for connecting table rails to legs and for door stile to rail. Let's quickly recap. To craft a plain haunched mortise and tenon joint, gather tools including wood, jack plane, tri-square, mortise gauge, scriber, measuring tape, bench vise, mortise chisel, mallet and firmer chisel. Check, size and mark the workpiece, then create the haunched mortise and finish with a 10 x 10 x 10 mm haunched tenon. Assemble the components by tapping with a mallet. This joint is vital for heavy-duty frame and panel assemblies, providing structural benefits and connecting table rails to legs or door stiles to rails. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye until then. Hello trainees. Today we are going to learn about making the full housing joint. The objectives of this video are: after this session you will be able to gathering equipment needed to make full housing joint, making the full housing joint, Advantages and application of full housing joint. Let's start. Gathering equipment needed to make full housing joint. Wooden piece of dimension 90 into 20 into 300 millimeters, 1 number. Jack plane, tri-square, marking gauge, marking knife, scriber, measuring tape, bench-wise, mallet, firmer chisel, pencil. Making the full housing joint. Check the wooden piece for its size using measuring tape. Plane the raw material to the required size using jack plane. Plane it squarely to the size of 90 into 20 into 300 millimeters. Cut the wooden piece into 2 pieces with a tenon saw to the size of 90 into 20 into 140 millimeters to square. Mark the dimensions on trench piece as per the drawing. Using tri-square marking gauge, marking knife and pencil. Finish the lines with tri-square and mark on the edge sides. Mark 10 mm housing depth on both the edges using marking gauge. Place the wood in the vise. Cut the sides of the housing down to the center line using tenon saw. Remove the excess wood using firmer chisel. Place the end of the other piece in the housing. If the housing is tight, pare the sides slightly with the chisel and clean it. Assemble the job. Check the accuracy of the inside squareness using tri-square. Advantages and application of full housing joint. A full housing joint is commonly used to build shelves and frames or to attach shelves and partitions to cabinets and bookcases. Let's quickly recap. To craft a full housing joint, gathering equipment includes wood, jack plane, tri-square, marking gauge, scriber, measuring tape, bench vise, mallet, firmer chisel and pencil. The tutorial covers checking and planing the wood, cutting it into pieces, marking dimensions, creating a 10 mm housing depth, sawing and using a firmer chisel to achieve the joint. Full housing joints are advantageous for cabinet shelves, frames, attaching partitions to cabinets and are commonly employed in carpentry for their versatility in creating sturdy and functional connections. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye until then. Hello trainees. Today we are going to learn how to make glued butt joint with dowel. The objectives of this video are gathering equipment needed To make the glued butt joint with dowel. Making a glued butt with dowel joint. Advantages and application of glued butt joint with dowel. After this session you'll be able to. Let's start. Gathering equipment needed to make glued butt joint with dowel. Wooden piece of dimension 90 mm into 14 mm into 450 mm, 2 numbers. Electric drill, dowel, glue, measuring tape, bench vise, wooden mallet, jack plane, smoothing plane, pencil, T-clamp, tri-square, marking gauge. Making the glued butt joint with dowel. First we need to check that there are 2 wooden pieces of the size 90 mm into 14 mm into 450 mm. If not, then plane it using a jack plane until we get the size. Next, mark the position of dowel pins at the distances of 50 mm, 225 mm and 4 mm by pencil marks as shown. Drill 5 mm diameter hole up to the depth of 27 mm. At the 3 points marked on the face edge of both the planks. After drilling the holes of the plank, countersink slightly in order to take surplus glue. Prepare the dowel pin as per drill hole. Before inserting the pins, apply glues in the holes of the plank or the dowel is smeared with glue. Place the plank in the vise and tighten it such that the plank is held in place. Now, insert the 3 dowel pins in one plank to a depth of 25 mm as shown. Apply the glue on the face edge of both planks uniformly. Make sure that half the height of the dowel pin is upwards above the surface of the face edge. Now slowly place the other plank such that the dowel pin of the first plank enters the dowel hole of the second plank. Gently tap it using rubber or wooden mallet and make a close fitting. Fix the F-clamp on the job and allow glue to dry. Remove the F-clamp on the job and finish the joint using a smoothing plane. Let's see the advantages of glued butt joint with dowel. Strength. When fixed with glued dowels, butt joints are probably strongest. Dowels also provide more wood surface for gluing, which makes the joint stronger. Alignment. Dowel joints can help with alignment during glue up. Neat finish. Dowel joints can help ensure a neat finish. Now let's see the application of glued butt joint with dowel. Chairs, cabinets, panels, tabletops. Let's quickly recap. To create a glued butt joint with dowels, begin by marking the positions of dowel pins on both planks. Drill holes at marked points, ensuring a depth of 27 mm and slight countersinking. Prepare dowel pins and apply glue to both holes and dowels. Insert dowels into one plank, then align and join both planks. Secure with clamps, let it dry and finish for strong aligned joints suitable for chairs, cabinets, panels and tabletops. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye until then. Hello trainees. Today we are going to learn how to make glued butt joint with dowel. The objectives of this video are gathering equipment needed to make the tongue and groove joint, making a tongue and groove joint, advantages and applications of tongue and groove joints. After this session, you'll be able to. Let's start. Gathering equipment needed to make tongue and groove joint. Wooden piece of dimension 90 mm into 30 mm into 450 mm, 2 numbers. Jack plane. Glue. Pencil. Bench vise. Bar clamp, 2 numbers. Rebate plane. Tri-square. Mortise gauge. Making a tongue and groove joint. First, check that there are 2 wooden pieces of the size and make sure that it is of the size 90 mm into 30 mm into 450 mm. If not, then plane it using a jack plane. Mark the tongue and groove using measuring tape, tri-square and mortise gauge as shown. Make the groove part using a plough plane as shown. When making the groove, make sure that the depth of the groove should be 1 mm more than the width of the tongue. This helps in having more glue surface area, more ease of assembly and having a tighter fit. Make the tongue part using rebate plane as shown. The width of the tongue and groove should be 1/3 of the thickness of the plank. This is done to give the joint more strength and durability. When both the tongue part and groove part is ready, apply glue on the surfaces of tongue and groove parts. Use a brush to apply the glue uniformly. Fix the tongue part by inserting tongue along the groove. Check the alignment clamp in a bar clamp. Allow the glue to dry. Then remove the bar clamp from the joint. Finish the joint using a jack plane. Advantages of tongue and groove joints. Tongue and groove joints provide strong support for flat surfaces because of having 3 layers of strength where they join. Tongue and groove joints create a stronger bond than butt joints. Tongue and groove joints provide a large area for adhesives like glue, wood glue. Applications of tongue and groove joints. Wood flooring, wall panels, ceilings, table, cabinetry. Let's quickly recap. To craft a tongue and groove joint, gather wood pieces, a jack plane, glue, pencil, bench vise and bar clamps. Mark and carve the joint using specified tools, ensuring precise dimensions and adhesive application. Clamp, let dry and finish for a durable joint ideal for flooring, panels, ceilings, tables and cabinetry. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye until then. Hello trainees. Today we are going to learn about making the end table scarf joint with wedge. The objectives of this video are: after this session you'll be able to gathering equipment needed to make end table scarf joint with wedge, making the end table scarf joint with wedge, advantages and application of end table scarf joint with wedge. Let's start. Gathering equipment needed to make end table scarf joint with wedge. Wooden piece of dimension 60 mm into 30 mm into 200 mm, 2 numbers. Jack plane, glue, pencil, bench vise, mallet, firmer chisel, hand saw, tri-square, marking gauge, marking knife, smoothing plane. Making the end table scarf joint with wedge. Check the wooden pieces for its size. Plane it to size of 60 mm into 30 mm into 200 mm, 2 numbers, using jack plane. Mark the table scarf pieces and cut it to match the drawing. Let's first mark and make the 2 table scarves. Now let's mark the highlighted red region and remove it. First, draw the line 1, that is 50 mm from the edge of length 60 mm. Next, mark the line 2, that is 20 mm from the edge having length 200 mm. We get the red marked region and cut out the red marked region. Now let's mark and cut the green region. First, draw the line 3, that is at a distance of 75 mm from the line 1 as shown. Drawing line 4 at a distance of 20 mm below line 2. Now, line 1, 2, 3, 4 gives us the green region which we need to carve out as shown. Let's mark and remove the purple region. First, draw the line 5 at 10 mm below the previously drawn line 2. Next, draw the line 6 at a distance of 65 mm to the right of line 3. We get the purple region. We need to remove it. Let's mark and remove the blue region. After marking and removing the regions in the 2 wooden pieces, we get this. Next, we need to mark and cut out the wedges as per the drawing. 2 parts of the joint is ready. Apply glue on the bottom surfaces of the top part and the top surface of bottom part and assemble it. Move the joint for the uniform spreading of glues. After assembling the 2 pieces, a 20 mm gap will be seen in the joint. push the 18 mm width size of the wedge from the face side and 2 mm width size wedge from the back of the face side. Advantages of end table scarf joint with wedge. The scarf joint with a wedge provides excellent strength. Scarf joints create a seamless transition between two timbers. Unlike butt joints, scarf joints align perfectly, enhancing the overall appearance. Application of end table scarf joint with wedge. Scarf joints are often used in big projects such as garages, carports, floor renovation, repairing or restoring furniture, traditional timber frame construction, table legs, boat building and withstands the stress of water and waves, wooden beam. Let's quickly recap. To create an end table scarf joint with a wedge, gather equipment including wooden pieces, jack plane, glue, pencil, bench vise, mallet, firmer chisel and handsaw. Mark the table scarf pieces according to the drawing. Carve out the marked areas in both wooden pieces. Then mark and cut the wedges. Assemble the joint with glue, inserting the wedges using a wooden mallet for reinforcement. Allow the glue to dry and finish the joint with a smoothing plane. This joint offers superior strength, seamless transition, and precise alignment, ideal for various applications like timber frame, construction, table legs, and boat building, etc. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye. Until then. Hello trainees. Today we are going to learn about making the bevel scarf joint. The objectives of this video are: after this session you'll be able to gathering equipment needed to make bevel scarf joint, making the bevel scarf joint, advantages and application of bevel scarf joint. Let's start. Gathering equipment needed to make bevel scarf joint. Wooden piece of dimension 70 x 40 x 275 mm, 2 numbers. Jack plane, hand drill, glue, marking knife, bench vise, mallet, firmer chisel, steel scale, hand saw, smoothing plane, tri-square. Making the bevel scarf joint. Check the wooden pieces for its size. Plane it to the size of 70 x 40 x 275 mm, 2 numbers. Mark the job pieces as per the drawing. Make inclined saw cut along the line AB using tenon saw. Hold the job vertically so that right end comes upwards. At the right end surface, keep a hand saw and make an angular sawing on the line CB. Remove the top portion of the piece sawn by the hand saw. Use firmer chisel to smooth the saw cut part and remove extra material if any. Cut along the line CD and remove waste portion using firmer chisel. Mark the position of drill hole on the job. Drill 3 mm holes on the marked lines with a hand drill and countersink it. Repeat the same procedure on the other piece also. Apply glue on joining surfaces. Assemble both the pieces together. And drive the screws on the countersunk holes on both top and bottom surfaces. Allow glue to dry and finish the joint with smoothing plane. Advantages and application of bevel scarf joint. The bevel scarf joint is used when the material being joined is not available in the length required. It is an alternative to other joints such as the butt joint and the splice joint and is often favored over these in joinery because it yields a barely visible glue line. Scarf joints are often used in big projects such as garages, carports, floor renovation, repairing or restoring furniture. Let's quickly recap. To create a bevel scarf joint, the equipment needed includes wood, jack plane, hand drill, glue, scriber, bench vise, mallet, firmer chisel, steel scale and hand saw. The tutorial guides through checking and planing wood, marking and making inclined saw cuts, angular sawing, removing excess material, drilling and assembling pieces with glue and screws. Bevel scarf joints are advantageous when the material's length is insufficient, serving as an inconspicuous alternative to butt and splice joints. Common application includes garages, carports, floor renovations and furniture repairs or restoration, offering a nearly invisible glue line. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye until then. Hello trainees. Today we are going to learn about making the T-table frame to lock 4 legs, top rails and bottom rails. The objectives of this video are: after this session you will be able to gathering equipment needed to make the T-table frame to lock 4 legs, top rails and bottom rails. Making T-table frame to lock 4 legs, top rails and bottom rails. Advantages and application of T-table frame to lock 4 legs, top rails and bottom rails. Let's start. Gathering equipment needed to make T-table frame to lock 4 legs, top rails and bottom rails. Wooden piece of dimension 50 x 50 x 450 mm, 4 numbers. 50 x 25 x 725 rails, 4 numbers. 50 x 25 x 425 rails, 4 numbers. Jack plane, marking knife, glue, bench vise, mallet, measuring tape, firmer chisel, steel scale, tenon saw, smoothing plane, tri-square, Mortise gauge, Mortise chisel. Making the T-table frame to lock 4 legs, top rails and bottom rails. First, let's observe the diagram of the table that we want to create using all the steps given below. Check the wooden pieces for its size with tap rule. Hardwood 50 into 50 into 450 millimeters, legs 4 numbers. Hardwood 50 into 25 into 725 millimeters, rails 4 numbers. Hardwood 50 into 25 into 425 millimeters, rails 4 numbers. Plane all the work pieces to the required width and thickness to square as per drawing. 40 into 40 into 415 millimeters, legs 4 numbers. 45 into 21 into 690 millimeters, front and back rails 4 numbers. 45 into 21 into 390 millimeters, side rails 4 numbers. Check the width and thickness of pieces as per the drawing using folding rule. Mark and make the stopped mortise on the top part of the forelegs as per the drawing. Also, remove the sections at the bottom as shown in the image. Mark the stopped mortise, follow the following steps. Make the stopped mortise by cutting away all the shaded portions along the marked lines using a chisel, mallet and tenon saw. Mark the stopped tenon on both the ends of top rail pieces as per the drawing. Make the stopped tenon by cutting away all the shaded portions along the marked lines using a chisel, mallet and tenon saw. Assemble the pieces together as shown. Now the table is complete. Advantages and application of making a T-table frame to lock forelegs, top rails and bottom rails. The addition of top and bottom rails means that the table can support weight and have a more stable structure in case there are some forces acting on it in different directions. Let's quickly recap. We learned to craft a T-table frame to secure forelegs, top rails and bottom rails. Equipment gathering includes wood, jack plane, scriber, bench vise, mallet, firmer chisel, steel scale, tenon saw and smoothing plane. Wooden pieces for legs and rails are planed to the required dimensions. Stopped mortises and tenons are marked and created using a chisel, mallet and tenon saw. Assembling the pieces forms a stable T-table structure capable of supporting weight and with increased stability. This design is advantageous for enhanced structural support and finds application in crafting durable and sturdy tables. Hope you understood everything taught in this session. See you in another video. Thank you and goodbye. Until then.
सुनिए, मेरा नाम रोहन है। क्या आप मुझे बता सकती हैं कि आप कंप्यूटर से कौन-कौन सी सेवाएं प्रदान करती हैं?
हाँ, बिल्कुल। मेरा नाम गीता है और जैसा कि आप देख रहे हैं कि मेरे पास इंटरनेट सुविधा युक्त एक कंप्यूटर है, जिसके जरिए मैं विभिन्न सेवाएं जैसे रेल टिकट की बुकिंग, विभिन्न प्रकार की सूचनाएं जानने में, बिजली व